Howdy. How's it going? Just figured I'd come in here, do an update for the Sunday night show live. It's plus it's just a real crappy day out. It's raining, freezing rain, but no snow. We still haven't had, well, we've had snow, but we still don't have any snow. I'm in shock. Like, oh, whatever. Um, so I just wanted to let everybody know, update everybody as to what's going on. This Sunday, we have Jack Bushong coming on, who is going to talk to us, discuss the 1994 UFO incident there in along Lake Michigan, uh, centrally in Holland County, I believe it is. He was a National Radar Service meteorologist during that time for that area. And he got a call from a law enforcement officer who had been following these things. There was like a massive amount of calls about some mysterious activity in the skies above the Lake Michigan that evening, and there was several witnesses as to what it was. Nobody knows, but meteorologist Jack Bushong at the time seems to think, and he was quiet. Upon the initial incident, he didn't know his conversation with the officer was recorded and was got out there, but he had to stay quiet for the remainder of his career up until he retired in 2016. Um, and or yeah, I think it was 2016, and has since gone on the record talking about these strange lights in the sky that nobody can, uh, identify. Law enforcement. There was no army, uh, Air Force sort of activity going on. Nothing of that sort. Hi, Clive. How are you? Urban, how are you, man? Good to see you. So I mean that's going to be pretty cool. You can catch him. He was actually on Unsolved Mysteries, the new Unsolved Mysteries on Netflix. This past season that dropped last year. I think it was November. It dropped. He's episode 3, I believe. And he's going to come on to further talk about his experience, following these anomalies on radar. And he, to this day, can't understand. Like, I mean, the speed and the directions and whatnot that these things were taking and generating just didn't make sense. It wasn't anything humanly possible. So was it extraterrestrial? Who knows? Because if it was secret, intelligent ops, whatever, then what? How do you explain it? I don't know. But Jack's going to come on this Sunday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Looking forward to that. And, excuse me. And next Sunday night, not this Sunday, but next Sunday, the 29th, I believe it is, the 29th, we're going to have on another guest to talk about another strange UFO incident that happened in the early 90s. Ian Rogers is going to come on to talk about the Guardian UFO tape incident where somebody captured what seems to be some strange, um, I don't know, strange ship, unidentified UFO. I don't know, but it is weird. Hey, Sab, how are you? It is very, very weird. And we're going to have Ian to talk about that, who had been investigating it at the time. So we're looking forward to having Ian on the show. So, yeah, yeah, that'll be pretty cool. Anyways, okay. Strangeness outside. Meteor shower. No. Okay, I'm gonna put out the link, so if anybody wants to join me, by all means. I just figured, hey, why not? Like again, this is unscripted, and hey, it's always nice to get caught up with everybody to see what everybody's up to. So there's the link in chat. By all means, if you want to join me, there you go. You're more than welcome. I want to say hi to Tim Barry, Temporal. How are you, Barry? Good to see you. Clive, Sab. Wow. Good to see you guys. And Urban Vault 69. Welcome. So yeah, anybody wants to join, by all means. So yeah, we're looking forward to that. I mean, we've touched base on UFO incidents in the past, but we have never really dove deep into it. I mean, we've had Stanton Freeman on to talk about Roswell and other things, but that was a while ago. And to be honest, I don't think I really want to talk about well-known cases. I mean, we've all heard them. They've done this circuit. I'm more intrigued by the lesser known, more realistic sort of. Hey, Adrian, how are you? Realistic take on things. Something that just seems, I don't know, within explanation. I don't know, or well, no, I guess not within explanation, but something that defies explanation, more or less. You know. Okay, let's see here. Zoom. Okay, you're talking to Sab. Okay, three lights in the sky. What color are the lights? What color are the lights, Sab? Come on. Let's hear your story, Sab. I want to hear your story. Come on, hit the link. And anyone else, please hit the link. Let's hear your stories. I mean, I've had a crazy incident. I've mentioned a few times on the show. Coming home from work, I think it was like between 2 and 4 o'clock in the morning, and I was driving along a stretch of road that there was some housing to the south of the road and farmland to the north. And just to the south, I noticed these three crazy lights in the sky. At first, I it didn't clue because I was driving. It didn't clue. I didn't clue in, but I uh, I just hold on here. Hey, Sab, how are you?
Hello.
Oh, hello. So I was just talking about an incident I had, and then we'll get on to yours. But I was driving home, and three lights in the sky. I just thought they were like maybe street lights in the distance, and then I'm going, okay, wait a sec. They're too high to be on the street level sort of thing in the distance. So they're way above, and it looks like they're probably above Lake Ontario, which is a hotspot by for the last, God, I don't know, 10, 15 years, even longer, of strange activity in the skies. Military, who knows? I don't think so, but there's all sorts of explanations. I think the best is Chinese lanterns. Yeah. So, Sap, what's yours, buddy?
Okay, so last night,
Yeah.
approximately, I don't know, well, I was walking back with a little and it was, no, we'd come home, we'd
Hmm.
gone back to the shop, we'd gone back out to the shop at about 5, 6 o'clock, 6 o'clock
Yeah.
in the evening. So it was about 6 o'clock in the evening. Just
Yeah.
trying to work it out, so I'm proper with it. On our way back home from the shop, it had gone dark, and about halfway home, there was this guy with a little girl as well. Must have been almost not a year or so older than Betty. Like, do you know what I mean? Now, Betty's got her headphones on and she's got her head in the phone light anyway, so she's not watching what's going on. She isn't even aware of me and this other guy chatting, because as I'm going up to him, he stood with his camera, like with his phone like that, pointed to the sky, and the little girl's all excited and she's like, "Can you see it, Dad? Can you see it?" And I like kind of stopped and I'm like, "What's going on here? Like, I don't know what you're looking at, you know, as you do." Like, so I kind of looked up, and I'm not far from him. I'm literally like not far, you know what I mean? A couple of arms distance, like, and the guy turns around and he says, "Can you not see the three lights there?" And he said, "They look like stars, look." And I'm looking and I'm thinking, I couldn't really see anything to begin with, but then it moved. And I'm not it moved a little bit, you know what I mean? It got real bright, and they were just like twinkling stars. That's all they looked like, twinkling lights.
Yeah.
Not like a solid light, not like a flashing light, but like a star. You know what I mean? Like a twinkly starlight. That's what it looked like. And it moved a little bit to the, like, say, right hand side of what we were looking at. And then it got real bright and then just zoom, zipped off. And I mean, when I say it just zoom, disappeared, zoom, gone. And the guy looked at me and he went, "Did you just see that then?" And he was like, you know what I mean? The little girl's all excited, like, and I'm and Becky's obviously still oblivious to it all. You know what I mean? It was only after we kind of like chatted and as I was walking away, and because he's saying to his little girl, "I don't know what it is. It must be aliens." And I went, "They've been aliens." Yeah. I went, "They've been visiting us for a long time. Don't worry about that, buddy." And then I said to him, "Go and check out the Black Knight satellite." And he went, "Oh, yeah, I know about it." You know, so he chatted. And it was only then, as we were walking off, Betty took her earphones off, like, "What are you talking about, Dad?" Completely missed it. She did. But yeah, it was very strange. Like, I don't know what it was like, to be fair.
That is strange, yeah.
I think military are doing some. It's proven and it's shown, it's documented that the military do have these triangular crafts, and they're not.
Oh yeah.
They're kind of like cut corners, you know, like the edges have been cut off. And they do have some crafts like this.
Well,
and they are experimenting with them. So
I'm thinking, what intrigues me is the movement, though. That these ships, even so, they might have stealth and everything else, but the movement just doesn't make sense.
The movement of that didn't make sense, to be honest with you, because it kind of just went to one side, like what I would presume in the sky would have been a good few hundred feet or whatever. It could have been a mile, as far as, you know what I mean, as far as I'm looking at it. I don't know, but it moved a considerable. It went like it moved somewhere, stopped again, and then its lights, I don't know, the twinkles just went really bright, and then it went, like, you know what I mean. So I don't know. Because that guy was like pure, and I should have videoed it just to show the guy's reaction, to show. Like,
but you couldn't get your phone out in time.
No, it was. You watch it. I didn't think about it, to be honest.
I know. Tim was in the waiting there. Or come back in, Tim. I don't know. He took off. Tim, pop back in. He's got a story too. I know. He's talked about his experience.
I was so desperate to tell someone last night. Do you know what I mean? It was one of them. Like,
now you got it out, man.
I was genuinely half tempted to go and do a little live just for like a few minutes, just to say, what I saw, like, kind of just so I wouldn't forget, like, So it's funny you mentioned it, and it totally triggered it back again.
You should have. Hey, Tim, how are you?
Hey, Tim. Hello, everybody in chat as well.
There we go.
Sorry?
There we go. Just had to sort my volume out on here, that's all.
Oh, okay.
Tim.
Yeah, what color was it again, Sab? Sorry, what color was it?
Just like a whitish light. I wouldn't even say. Yeah. I don't know. It's like a twinkle off a star. You know, like the stars themselves. They kind of like, they don't twinkle like pure white, do they? Like, do you know what I mean? It's got like, it's just like a twinkleish. They kind of mix colors and stuff. Like, it was like that sort of like, you know. So you're like an array of colors in like a twinkle, as though the light had been put through a prism and it was sparkling through it. Do you know what I mean? That sort of light.
Yeah. I when my incident was like orange. They were like a bright orange, and it seemed to be like a common thing at the time. Like, I haven't seen any since, but that night that I witnessed my sort of experience, a friend of mine, he was on his way to work. I was on my way home from work, and he was in a different positioning along Lake Ontario, he had witnessed them too, and he had called the airport and the army base that was in the area to see if they had some sort of exercises going on. Of course, they're not going to tell you if they do or
I'm not going
not.
to tell you
So,
anything. Oh, yeah.
no. But I know, Tim, you've got a story that you scared. Sure.
I've had 2 times I've seen them. The first time you know about that was when we had that light chase us down off the mountain, which I told you about a while ago. But the second time I saw one, it was a triangular-shaped craft. Whether it was one-piece craft, I do not know, because the lights seemed to dance around each other and then form a triangle again. You go like that, you maneuver around each other and do weird maneuvers, and then go back to a triangular formation.
Yeah.
But that was at probably airliner height.
Really?
Maybe a little bit more above airliner height. This was a crisp winter's early morning, and I basically had a pair of binoculars and a P900. And by the time I picked the camera up, it was out in the distance. It was too far away.
Yes.
But it was almost like as if it was really strange to see it, because they were dancing around each other. And, it wouldn't, plane lights don't do that. Like, you know what I'm saying? So that's probably one of the weirdest things I've ever seen up there, as opposed to the other time when we were viewing something out over on the mountain just over from where I live now, and there was 3 of us all sat up in a car listening to music.
Mm-hmm.
We were all teenagers back in the day, and this light appeared in the sky, and at first I thought it was like a Chinese lantern or something out in the distance.
And that's common. That's a common sort of explanation. Chinese lantern, yeah.
But then you realize that Chinese lantern is doing probably about 100 to 200 miles an hour. You know what I mean? Just
going all over the place. Yeah,
literally just coming towards us like that. So my mates, we clocked it. Started the car up. We put the car into reverse, swung around, and went straight back down the mountain. And I swear this thing just followed us all the way down the country lane. And you could, it wasn't a helicopter either. We knew it wasn't a helicopter because the light was. It wasn't like, if a helicopter was chasing a car, you'd have that beam of light coming down and all the rest of it. Well, it didn't have that at all. It was none of that. It was just this orb. Like, that's all it was. Just like this orb light in the sky. We couldn't, I couldn't tell you what was behind the light and all, you know what I mean? Because it was just that bright light. So I didn't get to see structure or anything like that on it. So I'm clueless about it, to be honest.
Well, I did manage to film my incident, but back then I think, what was it, 2004? Yeah, it was 2004. And it was an old flip phone that I had. And, the cameras back then were just garbage, right?
Yeah.
So, and what's more annoying is because I pulled over to the side of the road facing a traffic intersection. And of course, all you hear is my hazards, ticking away. And then all you could see are the traffic lights. But then in between the traffic lights, you see, let me see. Hold on. I'll see if I can load it up here. But it's excuse me. It's you can kind of get an idea of what I was looking at. By the time I pulled over and started filming, they had, one of them had taken off already. There's still 2 in the sky. Let me see here.
Just get out your car and throw your hat on the ground. Get back here, you bastards! I want to take a picture.
Yeah, I go, screw this. I'm going to zip on home, because I wasn't too far from home from where I was. And I go, I'm going to get a proper camcorder, and I'm going to, film them. Right. And I'm going to go to a location where I know I'm going to be able to get a good position.
Yeah.
Of course, by the time I got home, got the camera, got back in the car, went to an area where, okay, I'll be able to get these guys, no problem. They were gone. They were long gone. Nothing in the sky. I was pissed. But I mean, like, what are you supposed to do? I mean, that's par for the course when you're like,
well, it's like, regardless of whether there's video footage, anyway, people see it And the more that people see this phenomenon that happens, and it does happen, it's real. It's a real thing. Like, you know,
Yeah.
it does happen. Like, and whether it be aliens or whether it be the United States Air Force or the British MOD or whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It does happen, and there are more and more people out there now that have actually got the same stories. They're not copied, you know. They don't copy each other. The stories are not copied, but they feature the same sort of craft.
Yeah.
Still, it'd be nice to have some really good, like, you know, 4K footage of it, though, wouldn't it? Like, or 8K, like, you know.
Sorry, I had that issue with fucking Firefox. Sorry, that's all dealt with. Holy crap, man! All right, so I won't be able to get it. Oh man, let me just see here. Hold on, I'll try again.
Powers of be are doing it to you. Right? They don't want you to show it.
No, they don't want me to show it. Hold on, I will try again. I'm persistent. Here we go. Where are we? All right. Okay, hold on. A second, bear with me. There we go. And it'll probably give me some stupid shit again. Oh no, perfect this time. Perfect. Okay. So let me just get out of this shit. I should have this on my PC. I don't have it on this hard drive though. All right, there we go. Get rid of that. And like I said, you know what? It's not the best quality. It's not. It's absolute garbage. But again, what you're seeing is I'm sitting facing because I turn right at an intersection and I did a U-turn and pulled over to the gravel side and started filming. And again, you're going to see the traffic lights, blah, blah, blah. And in between, you're going to see some faded lights. Hold on. Let me see if I can get it loaded up here. And again, all you hear are my hazards ticking. Here we go. So you can see that light in between the traffic lights.
Yeah.
That's one of them.
End, isn't it?
Yeah, and then the other one is off to the right. But as you can see, the quality is shit. Right? But there was 3 of them at the time. And it's just floating right there right now. And what they were doing was they're like dropping down, and then all of a sudden they zip right up again. Right? You could slightly see it moving, but not much. Like I said, the quality is garbage. Right? It's just garbage. I wish I had obviously a proper camcorder, but again, you don't anticipate these things, man.
I've got to be honest with you. If that happened and you had a decent camera, you probably end up with not great footage at that time of the night. If you just, you know what I mean? You have to have it set up so you can basically see proper night sky like that.
Yeah, I mean, I did have a camcorder at the time with night vision, but it wouldn't matter because the area was lit well enough. But still, yeah, no, back then you're not going to get good quality no matter what. I mean, you're not going to get full HD. But yeah, like I said, by the time I got home to get that camcorder, they were all but gone. Sucks, but hey.
But you might have another chance one day. You never know.
I'd love to have another sort of experience, but yeah, nothing, nothing at all. I've gone to areas. I've gone to areas that I know have had a past
Mhm.
reputation for sightings, but nothing.
Mhm. Never
And
have.
we're talking going at hours of the night where there's no activity on the road, and this is in the middle of nowhere. Like this
Mhm.
is farmland, right? So you got a good sort of view of the sky, but
Big sky country, basically.
yeah, nothing, absolutely nothing.
I haven't seen anything really untoward in the sky for probably a good 3 years. The last what I told you about them lights dancing around each other. That was 3 years ago.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen anything since.
No, I mean, I like to discount it as just maybe something that is explainable,
Mm,
but at the time, like I said, I just I couldn't. No matter what, I just you put all the variables into place, you just
mm,
what you can't explain it. You know, uh, you know, yeah, you might have had an experience with Chinese lanterns or flares. No, absolutely not.
nah.
Uh, you know, if,
Not at that altitude and it's like
well, yeah, even that the movement just didn't
mm,
reflect Chinese lanterns
no.
or flares. I mean, come on,
You
flares
can
is
see when someone is being driven by the wind. You know what I
yeah,
mean? And moved around by the wind, as opposed to like a plane. Even a plane doesn't act
exactly.
like that. You know what I mean? So the argument of Chinese lanterns coming into it is like no,
No.
something totally different. Like something totally. I've got to be honest with you. I don't even know whether what I saw. Because they keep going on about UAPs, and there's a lot of similarities.
I
And
love it how they want to change the terminology, right?
they want to have it their way, don't they? That's the thing, isn't it? So,
Well, I guess, well, UFOs, the stigma with behind UFOs, we got to change this and make it look, serious. We got to look at these things serious here.
mm, but,
Meanwhile, the government is still going to toy with you.
mm.
Honestly, they're going to toy with you,
I've
and
given up watching all that because there's been stuff that's been going on recently, isn't there, in America to do with the government, to do with disclosure, all that.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? I'm not on about last year or the year before. I'm on about like recently, like in the past 2 weeks.
Yeah,
And
you've got a lot of people who are talking, this year, yeah, you're gonna have full
mm,
disclosure this year. You hear that every year,
every year, yeah,
every
year.
fucking year,
I have done it
disclosure.
ever since since like the 1980s, since the wonderful invention of VHS cassettes and
Yeah.
VHS camcorders and Betamax camcorders, when everybody used to do ufology conferences. So you
Hello,
know,
Steve Arnold. How are you? Yeah, it
mm,
it just doesn't make. But
oh, they're definitely gonna release the Roswell paperwork for everybody to see. You
oh,
know,
come on, you're
oh,
getting
you
it
don't
there.
know
You're
that,
getting it there,
well,
Tim. You got the accent almost. Come on.
almost. Really good.
uh,
Yeah, it's the same
yeah,
old thing. Like every single year, it is the same old thing.
I know. Disclosure. It's uh has there been disclosure? It's already in front of our
I think,
face.
I think, to be honest with you, yeah, you could say it like that. To be honest, Steve, I think really
I you know I
they've dangled it in our faces now. You know what I mean? We know about what's been going on around the aircraft carriers and all the rest of it. Like, and these planes have been spotting things. Whether that's like I have to say, I mean, I like. I don't want to just jump on the alien bandwagon thing, like you know what I mean. That could be That could be tech that's just being tested. You know what I mean?
yeah, oh yeah. Well that's the thing, right? I mean we through um non-governmental sort of sources
Mm,
have they provided information or disclosures sort of like, I don't want to say proof or evidence that and you look at what the government has shared, saying, okay, here you go, this is what we got, this is what we're going to go forward with. But that shit's been, excuse me, that stuff's been in play for a long time now. So it wasn't anything new.
No, that UAP footage.
No, it wasn't anything new. I mean, this was out there.
That was on YouTube months and months, maybe 2 years before it was
exactly
even talked about in the press or even mentioned by all of these ufologists.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was there. Like it'd be leaked way before the fact.
And that's what I mean. I mean, do we have disclosure already? And it's just like, okay, you know, when the government says, you know, oh yeah, we're going to fully disclose everything we have on UFOs. We're going to be fully transparent. You know, they're not going to be transparent.
No, they never be.
You know, they're going to feed you what you want. They're going to tag you along like they have been for how many years. Same shit. They're never going to fully disclose.
Same shit, different year. That's all it is.
Because if they fully disclose, I don't know, are they going to let people down? People are going to be disappointed that there's no ET, or, you know, whatever the scenario may be. Do you think that people want to believe there are ET?
I think it would frighten a lot of people, but then it does.
Do you really think so? Do you really, in this day and age?
I think that the majority of the human race now is built to take it, but there would be a lot of frightened people.
Well, I think
a lot of religious folk would be, they'd be on their asses, wouldn't they? You know what I mean? It would knock them for six, basically.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely, Steve.
And then there'd be all of this. Well, they're not aliens; they're demons. They're all this sort of shit. You know what I mean? Same old, same old.
Yeah, absolutely. They do have it, but stealth. It doesn't matter with the like the trajectory and the movement and the speed of some of these UAPs. There's absolutely no way human technology can emulate that.
No, a human pilot couldn't even take it.
Well, that too, but are they unmanned? That's another thing. So I mean, we're obviously testing technology like that out there too. I mean, that's got to be in play, obviously. You know, unmanned craft.
I think,
you know,
I think it's a possibility. Look how long we've been able to make it. Look, when people say the word drone, you know what I mean? That doesn't mean a quadcopter. That means like you could go all the way back to like the 1960s, 1950s, where they stick radio gear in a plane to make it fly on its own and use it for missile practice.
Missile practice.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's all been done, and the thing is like when you see now how fast a quadcopter can move. Well, imagine that was imagine that they've made something along those lines with that sort of that even like 40 to 60 times as fast. You know what I mean, movement wise.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So let's
Oh, look at join
I'm still here in the background. It's because I've got family going on. Sorry, I do apologize. I'm here listening and whatnot. I have listened to everything that we've said so far. Right, so let's put this spin onto the situation now, right? Yeah. How much do people believe in the Bob Lazar story of reverse engineering said aircrafts, like, yeah? So on that basis, let's just say, for instance, that is real. All right, let's just say that that's real, just for an example. Now look at the technology that we're getting. That's improving. That's becoming very, very real and very, very scary as well recently.
Yeah.
You know, with AI and all the rest of this going on. Now, who's to say that they don't use this AI to fathom and to reverse engineer this machinery that's been found? I say found. You know what I mean? I'm trying to be very light about this, the way I say it, like obviously. But yeah, let's just say that they have found an alien aircraft. They have been trying to reverse engineer it, but obviously it's so far out of this world that, you know what I mean? It's totally different technology. Let's say, obviously. So like Bob Lazar says, one of the things that he says. I don't know. I don't like Fletcher. I don't really trust the whole situation. I reckon it's just a coup and he's just jumped on the bandwagon. So let's just say that. But that's my belief. But anyway, he says that the technology is. This is what throws it as well. The technology is very similar to ours, but it's like the circuit boards are all fused together. It's not like separate components that have been put together on a board. It's like the board was just fused all as one, like. And so yeah. Who's to say now that if they don't use the certain technologies that we're getting now, creating and progressing with now, that would quantum physics itself, there will be a quantum artificial intelligence that will think, that will process data, everything else quicker than we've ever been able to imagine.
Absolutely, and that's the problem. We're our way of thinking about these sort of UAPs and UFOs, whatever, is traditional. I mean, carbon based. I mean, we don't know what the rest of the universe is like. We don't know if we're dealing with something that is non-carbon based, a technology that we've never seen before. We don't know.
This other civilization coming from further afield out in space isn't silicon based.
I just look at it like this.
Silicon, whatever, a technology that we've never seen before, ever.
There are creatures that live in the ocean that we still don't understand.
Maybe they have a biological system, which is, do you know what I mean? It's the opposite to what we are. Do you know what I mean?
Well, that's the thing, and we're thinking that these things are perhaps carbon based, or the technology is it's advanced, but it's carbon based, right? When realistically, they're like literally light years ahead of us, and it's not carbon based, right? And that's the way I'm thinking. These technologies that maybe some people have witnessed are way ahead of what we're ever even close to being like. Hey, look at frequency. Could it be frequency based? Like we're like something that works on a different frequency.
Dimensional as well.
My ex was non-carbon.
Everything we look at is frequency. Everything we perceive is just frequency. When you think about it. Our atoms, the way that they make our bodies, is a frequency. Do you know what I mean? If you played a certain frequency, it would shatter us. Like, if you get my drift.
Well, that's the thing. Our bodies interact with the frequencies, the environmental frequencies around us, and most people have no clue about that. How much
Tesla explained it the best.
Yeah, how much our bodies rely on frequency and in the interaction with other different frequencies around us.
That's what Tesla said. The key to everything is sound and is frequency and vibration.
Absolutely,
vibration.
Absolutely, vibration, frequency.
Again. So if we spin it on the other foot, and let's say we haven't found any alien tech or anything like that, so I reckon quantum entanglement, quantum physics itself is going to create it. It's gonna break the physics that we understand.
Quantum physics again is our next level. It's our next level.
Yeah. I think the only time that we can actually fully understand quantum physics as a general species, like everybody just understands it, is going to be, we're at stage 0, so we'll be a stage 1 civilization. We'll be space-bound and everything
Yeah. It's, I mean, when you even mention the word quantum physics to just anybody, they're like, what? What is that? What is quantum? What does that mean? You know, I mean, it's an entirely new realm. It's not new. Don't get me wrong. I mean, it's been around for a while, but in essence, it's really a lot of it's been theory based until now. A lot of the quantum theories are a reality now.
Well, they did all
Becoming
the
a
tests. They did all the tests with the quantum entanglement theory, didn't they?
yes,
And that actually
exactly.
proved it to be correct. It was like
Yes,
it's no longer a theory anymore. It's actually they've taken a single particle, they split it off into two. They sent one way and one the other way. They did a test to one thing, and the other thing reacted exactly the same, even though they weren't connected anymore. It's
yeah.
like, hang on, what is that about? So it's able to transfer information between the same particle after it's been split between an infinite amount of space. Now that itself boggles the mind. How is it sending the signal? How does it know? Like, do you know what I mean? It's like, it's just, quantum entanglement. It just means that we're all quantum entangled now. Now that we've all got to know each other, and now that we're all, do you know what I mean? It's like, it's a feeling, it's a gut feeling. Like something happens down the road, and something happens to Tim next week, and we're all thinking, it's not right. That doesn't feel right. You just know.
Yeah,
it's like
yeah. What's going on? Yeah. You
Yeah.
get that. Yeah, you get that sort of. Okay, what's going on? I
So
haven't
many
seen Tim
stories
for a
about it.
while.
Yeah,
What the hell,
so
man?
many
Where's
stories.
Tim been?
Too many stories for it to be coincidental as
Yeah.
well when you think about that. Yeah, there's too many occurrences where people said, I rang up one day and literally at the time that I was ringing up, something happened. Do you know what I mean? It was like something that told them to make that call at the time. Do you get me? Like, yeah, it was.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Quantum entanglement theory. That's where it's all connected. Yeah.
Yeah. It's again. I've constantly said that the and this is all facets of life. I mean, we as a human species, we're brought up to believe intangibility. Everything is tangible. Everything is physical. And if our five senses can't understand it or don't register it, it's not real. It's not real.
Or reality.
It doesn't exist. Where that is not real at all. There are so many elements to that metaphysical sort of aspect of things that people do, a lot of people do understand, but for the most part the masses don't understand because I can't see it, it doesn't exist. But wait a sec, I witnessed a UFO, I saw something, then what? Could that be lumped into that? Absolutely. Absolutely. This is what I mean by the non-carbon, the non-physical sort of aspect of our being. I mean, there are so much things that we don't understand when it comes to even here living on Earth. They'll sell you what science.
I see space as just an ocean.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? There are many different things out there. And who's to say that out in that void there aren't animals, creatures?
Well, Tim, I look at space and say, look at 99.9% of us have never been to it.
Exactly.
We've only somewhat experienced it through the eyes of others, or video, or pictures, or whatever else.
What we've been given by the government is government sanctioned.
Whatever. But I mean,
it's like, and it's basically just showing us what they want to show us.
Yeah, and this is what I mean when you look at stuff like climate change, and they tell you,
how dare you?
For sure. Science tells us, and let me say one thing about science: it's man-made, it's fallible.
Yeah,
it doesn't. It in itself, based on a series of theories, based on
It's our understanding of things, but not the real overall. And
No, it in and itself is still learning as well.
Yeah.
So I mean, sure, you can sort of trust science on certain things, but in the grand scheme of things, I think that it when it's down to the proving stage, it'll be wrong. It's constantly second guessed. It's constantly proven wrong. And again, because there was a theory there that blah 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 blah. But look at
that theory gets blown
in
up.
actuality, that theory is wrong.
Yeah.
So now we know the truth, and that's what I mean. It's a constant learning curve and experience. So when it comes
I think that's more than likely the same for every single race that's out there in up there in the stars, probably.
Sure, but I mean, they probably have a more sound sort of understanding because look at if they are in fact visiting us, if they have been for thousands of years, then obviously they have a sound understanding much more than we'll ever know. I don't think we'll ever know.
We haven't been invaded yet, and we are, and all slaves to a bunch of grey aliens and all this sort of shit. Like,
or are we?
The Earth has had many ice ages constantly. Yeah, absolutely.
I have a theory.
Yeah.
You have a theory. Let's hear it.
That the Anunnaki are real, and all they're waiting for is for our civilization to reach a nice plump figure so they can come and harvest it again.
I think
gold, get their gold for their atmosphere.
I think the key is the Antarctic.
No, food, us.
Well, I think they're hiding in the Antarctic.
That's also a theory as well. I think that is quite possible. I think that's quite possible. If they were going to hide anywhere, that would be
watching Linda Moulton Howe.
Well, there's so many things.
Why we're not allowed to go there?
Yeah, there's so many things about the Antarctic I'd love to go.
We are allowed to go there. I don't understand why people don't think we're allowed to go there. When you can go to your local
We couldn't go there without getting permission first. We couldn't go there, Tim. We couldn't just jump on a boat and go there, not without getting permission first. We get shot down.
You can go on a cruise there and all the rest of it. You can even fly over it.
Military bases, etc. Yeah,
you can't fly over
military there, man. They wouldn't let us job logs go there. They wouldn't just let you go on an exploration. You're not allowed to.
I just genuinely think that, to be honest with you, I think that thing is to do with scientific research and is to do with actually keeping the area free of human contamination, basically.
Yeah, agreed. But also, I think there's a lot of resources there as well that if people get the grubby hands on it, it'd make them the capital of the world, if you get my drift. If China went there and they just laid dibs on it all, there's loads of gold and coal and massive slabs of iron and, you know what I mean? All that sort of stuff.
Wasn't it Denmark that took over New Schwabenland?
Denmark,
after the war happened, and because Germany had claims, didn't they? There.
Well, I mean, you got several claims. You got, I believe, you got Denmark has the Danish have a large portion of it, but so does Russia. Russia has a large stake in there. I don't know about the U.S. The U.S. might have a smaller stake in there somewhere, but this has been going on for years now. Where they've had stakes.
The book of Admiral Byrd. Here we go.
Yeah.
Well, what was the big thing about what was the big thing about all the world leaders and the Pope and whatnot going there a couple of 3 years ago? What was that about?
Well, he did take a dive, didn't he? Let's be honest with you. Admiral Byrd did take a dive, so there might be something in it, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Wrong lines, like, but who knows?
Yeah, is there something there that that we'll that we'll learn from, that
change history?
Change history. Yeah, absolutely. Change history. Change the narrative. Period.
Like,
do you think they'll find in our lifetime? Put it this way: in our lifetime, do you think they will find evidence of, say, a species of humans that have never been documented before
Probably.
in Antarctic.
Probably wouldn't surprise me. Probably.
Like,
Because once upon a time it was a green continent.
Absolutely, yeah. And there's still a continent there.
And it's like there's the Perry Reese map.
Mm-hmm.
Whether that's got any, you know, whether it's an honest and true map or whether it's been, you know, a coaxed one, I'm not sure. But a lot of people will refer to that and say, well, that's where Atlantis was. Yeah. But then I know where Atlantis is, Sav. I don't need to be told. I know where it is. Easy. That's an easy one, that is. You can see it from space.
Sahara.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's the name of the country? What's the country that's in?
Jimmy Cortetti has been following that for a good couple of years now about the Atlantis theory and where it is and that, like, and he's pulled loads of evidence to say it is in the eye of the Sahara. There's salt plains in there. There's all sorts in there. There's marshland, old marshland, and there's all sorts there that actually proves that.
Circles. They're all just circles. That's what it was. Atlantis was just circles.
The sea entering from the not yet.
Everything
correlates. Like I think it was Plato, wasn't it? Plato written about it, and
he wrote about it, but he heard about it. He heard about it from another person who taught him, who used to teach him. And the guy who used to teach Plato went to Egypt, and he learned off the scribes in Egypt and the priests about this place that existed before, you know, before all these
all the pre-world flood.
It was in the days of a different empire, basically, you know. And as you know, empires come and go.
Absolutely, yeah. That's a major thing. Empires come and go. Absolutely.
Whether it's the earth shifting or whether it's war.
War or all sorts of shit.
Disease, whatever.
Something from the heavens, like comet, meteorite, all sorts of fucking shit. Armageddon, if you will.
But those circles in Africa, I mean, where they are, from space, it just looks like a crater. Yeah. It looks like a weird crater. It almost, I tell you what, it does look like giant. Can you know what an ammonite is? Prehistoric, like snail creature thing in the shell, ammonite.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It looks like a gigantic one of them.
Yeah.
Shell, which has been fossilized from orbit. That's what it looks like. But you can tell, like, from the description of what Plato said. Earth is having many ice ages.
Kids. My 12-year-old daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I made a load of cakes earlier today, and like cookie cakes and stuff, like fairy cake mix, but made them into cookies.
Fairy cake.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, carry on. I'm just gonna get a refill. You guys keep going.
And I said to her, "There's loads of cookies there," and she's like, "Oh, I wouldn't eat anything that you make. Anyway, when did you get into cooking?" And I'm like, "You're 12. I lived alone for many years. What are you on about? When did I get? Been cooking for myself for many years. What are you on about? It's too filling.
Cook a cake in a chew.
But they taste good though, don't they? No, not bad.
Yeah, I think there's a lot to be discovered, and we haven't discovered yet.
We don't even know what's at the bottom of our seas and in the deepest depths of the Amazon jungle, etc. We don't know what's on this planet yet completely.
Jimmy went over to Iraq, didn't he?
Yeah. Well, he was in the war.
Was it the Marines or the Army or some shit? I remember. Yeah. And he ended up going to the Iraqi museum where they got all the Anunnaki statues and stuff. But he went there it had been turfed over.
The Sumerian kingdom.
Yeah. And there was a lot of stuff stolen from the museum and stuff. But it's all starting. A lot of those pieces now that were stolen are starting to be found again, and repatriated. Well, there is some of them have been found. Not the ones that are important, mind.
Exactly.
Mm.
Because that also changes the narrative of what we're being told history is as well.
It's like it was in the nerd, all those gods. And
They all went round with a little handbag.
Yeah.
They all went round with a little handbag which held a special power. It was able to do things that the mind would not be able to comprehend. Basically, that's what they said. Like, so what's that about? Why did and it's across the globe as well. You look at all of them across the globe; they've all got this little handbag.
They all got a bag, yeah. Even like the was it? Is it
Why?
Gobekli Tepe?
The Aztecs, the Incas, the
Yeah,
Sumerians, all of them.
Hieroglyphs, they've all got them.
All of it. They've all got it. It's like someone came with certain knowledge and said, "Listen, we're the
Bird
founders."
God, man from sky. Bird
Yeah,
God,
exactly.
man
This is what
from
I'm saying.
sky.
Like, there's too much of it across the globe. There's too much of it across the globe. Like, yeah, it makes more sense. To me, it just makes more sense anyway. Like, do you know what I mean? Kind of like one of the things I say, we got tweaked. I don't know how true it is. I don't. Do you know what I mean? I'm not like a big nut. I don't believe everything I say completely. It's just theories and it's just things to ponder and maybe just like way different ways of thinking outside the box, etc. But yeah, it makes complete sense that an alien race and higher race than us, a more intellectual race came along, seen us and went, "Oh, bless the little souls! Look at them running around like little monkeys. We can give them a bit of knowledge and get them kick boosted into their civilization." Who's to say that they didn't do that? Do you know what I mean?
They're just beings like us at the end of the day. You know what I mean?
They saw us as being
way too backwards at the time when they arrived here. Maybe we were just too backwards to realize that and saw them as gods. You know?
Exactly. Well, yeah, exactly. Like we're basically Neanderthals when they fucking first ever came. You know what I mean? That's probably what it was like. We were Neanderthals basically, and they said, "Oh, we could do a bit of tweaking there. We can add a little bit of this and take this away and make them into nice little civilized human beings." And off you crack now. We'll give you a few thousand years, and then we'll come back. We'll keep checking on you. We'll leave this big black satellite out. You call it now the Black Knight satellite, but we just call it our telephone home, and that's keeping an eye on you all the time as well, just to make sure. Like,
that's funny because
it just makes sense. Like, of course, it makes sense. Look at the nature of us ourselves, like. Yeah, and like like they have the theory in Star Trek not to interfere with, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, but we ain't gonna have Star Trek rules by the time we're spacebound and all the rest of it. And if we do, as humans, come across another planet with another civilization on that were basically Neanderthals, what would we do? We'd go down there and we'd go, "Hey, we know how to change you a little bit, don't you? And we can make you better and we can kickstart your civilization. We'll be back in a couple of thousand years."
Yeah, I reckon that Tesla probably crashed into a crater on Ceres. And
what?
It didn't actually crash into the crater. It crashed into somebody's greenhouse.
Somebody's greenhouse.
Paranoid now.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, what a joke, eh? When you have that much money, you can do shit like that, right?
Well, there is that, but there is comparisons to heavy metal and that bit of video footage that he did with the
heavy metal. What a classic flick! Oh fuck, classic.
With a bit is it a Corvette? And it's a Corvette, and that's it.
That's such a classic movie, man. Look, I haven't seen it in fucking years. Heavy metal. Oh wow. A movie I must watch again. Fuck, there's so many of those.
It was good, like.
Oh, it's like what was the one with Harvey Keitel and Kirk Douglas and Farrah Fawcett in space? What was the name of that movie now? Oh, and Harvey Keitel played this evil sort of doctor, scientist dude. Kirk Douglas and Farrah Fawcett, they're having this love affair going on, and Keitel was a little jealous over that and decided to go ape shit on them. Oh, what the hell was it now? I must look it up now.
What was that film? That's another film. Harvey Keitel. I was thinking of the other night. He just plays a really bent cop.
Oh, bad. Oh my God! Now I'm having a brain fart.
I know. You know what I'm on about. You know the one I'm on about.
Yeah.
That's the one, yeah.
That is such a cool flick, man.
Mm.
That scene in the church.
Fucking hell.
Oh man, Bad Lieutenant.
Mm.
Bad Lieutenant. Such a cool flick. Let's see. Harvey. He's been hiding, man. Harvey Keitel. I haven't seen him in a while.
Mm.
I mean, I'm sure he's been in a flick, but I have not seen him. Let's see here. Let's see. Credit. All right. Saturn 3 is the movie I'm thinking of.
Yeah, I know that one. That was the one with that robot.
Yeah.
The one who and he goes on like he tries to kill him.
Yeah.
Both,
Yeah. Saturn 3. Man.
It was well done as well.
Yeah.
I remember the robot tried wearing the flesh.
Yeah.
King Lurker. I've just googled it. Apparently, his Tesla's still out there, and it's still taking a lonely oblong orbital path around the sun, traveling as far away from Mars's orbit, and at other times as close as Earth's orbit. So apparently, it's still out there, spinning around the sun. It's not lost. We haven't lost it. It's still in orbit of the sun, apparently.
Wow. Crazy, eh?
Mm.
Yes, Urban Saturn 3. Classic flick, man. Harvey Keitel is such a great fucking actor. He's so unappreciated by many, I think.
I was gonna like that guy's name. He was a producer. You had him on not long ago. Is he living in Africa or somewhere like that?
Oh, Richard Stanley. Yes.
He did that. He did that. I can remember he did that. And I remember the film. I can't even remember.
Hardware.
Hardwired, yeah.
Yeah. Hardware is such a cool
Hardware, that's it, yeah, Hardware.
Such a interesting lineup. Iggy Pop's in it. Lemmy from Motorhead. Hey, Ashley, how are you?
It's one of those sci-fi films that's actually stuck with me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Didn't they find pyramids in Antarctica? I think they did find some sort of formations that sort of gave them
vaguely represent pyramids, but
I don't know if they actually are pyramids. I don't know. But yeah, I do remember. I mean, that'd be hey, if they are, leads credence to again the Egyptian sort of culture and how their sort of relationship with Mars and
Danny from Australia, Danny.
Yeah.
And he's been out to see hieroglyphs.
Yeah.
They're out in the outback.
Oh,
but
really?
They're not necessarily Aboriginal ones.
Wow.
They were apparently there's a tale of the two Egyptian princes that got one day got on a boat, decided to go sailing, and then the boat got lost at sea and they ended up lost on the Australian shores.
Really?
And they can't. But the thing is it's kind of like an urban legend over there, I think, really. And the thing is, but there are huge. There are a lot of hieroglyphs that look Egyptian. But then there's a lot of graffiti around those as well on the rocks. You know what I mean? Not just theirs. So whether that's a true thing that happened, but then you can look at the Egyptian bird gods, and the fact that that's not just in one country; that's represented in many different countries. You know what I mean? Deities with the head of a bird or head of an animal. Whether that just represents a royal household or whether whether it was an actual thing.
Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, you've got many cultures, Egyptian, Mayan, what else? Egyptian, Mayan. There are several cultures that had that structure, if you will. I mean, even when and again, I harken back to Japanese yokai, and they use every element as their yokai system.
Yep.
And if anyone knows anything about the yokai system, that's like been around for eons. You know? Right? So I don't know. I don't know.
Ollie's
Ollie, hey Ollie, how are you?
yeah, I kind of go with what Ollie's saying, to be honest with you. I don't think that they found pyramids.
No, I mean they found some sort of rock formations that sort of gave them the impression that they might have been, but I don't think
There were photos of a range of hills and mountains that were taken from the coast.
Yeah, so
from one of these cruise ship rent a holiday at that, on the coast of Antarctica.
Yeah, take a cruise with us and we'll take you to Antarctic's pyramids.
And those
pyramids where? There's pyramids in the Antarctic?
And those photos got onto YouTube. And then they were copied through these so-called ufology channels and all the rest of it. You know what I mean? Whack a CGI clip up type channels. You know.
Hey, Melissa, how are you?
Good money out of it, like. But yeah, it's it wouldn't surprise me actually if there were structures there. It's buried in the ice somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like they have had melt there, and there has been talk of things sticking out of the ice, whether that be old whaling stations or, who knows?
You think over the years, like, I mean, stuff that's still only just being discovered now. Yeah. So like, and we're just talking like maybe like a fraction of a percentage of what was left in these places.
Mm-hmm.
Think about 2,000 years, 4,000 years. That's a long time for people to be getting into these places, looting them and taking whatever. Do you know what I mean? Like, so you can imagine over the past couple of thousand years how much stuff has been lost. Do you know what I mean? Just because of that, like.
Well, look at all the grave robbers and stuff in Egypt and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That also.
Even if even with the grave robbers, though, they might have taken the loot. They might have been looting and taking the treasures and whatever else, the belongings. But the fucking structures are still there, or at least remnants of that structure are still there, buried. Of course, in that part of the world, you have the sands, the unforgiving sands. But I mean, in other areas like in the jungle,
there's cities there. There's cities, Steve, in Egypt, and in those Sahara areas around Egypt, that
I was just going to say
there's so much sand there that they just can't excavate.
No,
they cannot excavate, and they're the cities that they don't talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean,
the pyramids were buried as well. The pyramid and the Sphinx, they were all buried as well at one point.
They were. Yeah. That's what I mean.
The Nile at some point flooded.
Hey up, Mel.
There's erosion on the Sphinx, water erosion on the bottom parts of the Sphinx.
Which obviously
the Nile at some point. The Nile
used to meet up to it. So the River Nile used to meet up to that then, yeah. Basically says there was a massive river that went through there at one point.
Well, yeah. You look at a lot of these rivers and in comparison to what they are today, but, give it time with global warming, if you will, these rivers might be raging again.
I mean, like that guy Jimmy, he was saying about the Sahara Desert, like where the supposed place of Atlantis is lying.
Mm-hmm.
And there's talk of there was a flood that wiped out the area because of because you can tell that the ocean had been there across certain areas of the desert, like.
And also, if like say for instance the world did spin and on its pole reversal, let's say, like, do you know what I mean? It was only a couple of years ago that we had that massive all right, Doc.
But we're due for that.
We had a massive sandstorm that covered Siberia from the Sahara, and it was the red snow. Do you remember the story of the red snow across Siberia?
Yeah.
It was from the sands that had been whipped up in the storm and then deposited across. Now, you think catastrophe style, that even like a meteorite or something like that, if that hit the middle of the Sahara, it would displace most of that crap there. Like, if you get my
Yeah.
yeah.
I know it's
But this sand formations the span right the way across the Sahara, and you can see more space, and it's the same sort of formation that you would see if you looked under, with sand, with regards to sand on the beach, water.
Yeah.
Where water has eroded stone so much.
Mm-hmm.
It's like when you go to Niagara Falls or whatever, and you see the way the water over the thousands of years has just cut into rock.
What is sand?
It's
stones that have been
formation.
eroded, yeah.
It's this stuff that this shown, but then nobody wants to talk about it though.
How did we end up with so much sand in the Sahara though? That's a
Punches,
good question.
how are you?
Well, the one are you talking that's the first time I know what you mean. Yeah, that's a good one. But there's loads of pyramids in China as well.
Yeah. Well, you look at exactly, the Terracotta Army. That is just absolutely crazy.
Didn't they find one and it was full of mercury? Didn't they?
That's what Punches was saying. Yeah.
And
yeah. But that's what I mean. When these things are discovered, we don't know the full story. Hey, Della, how are you?
Yeah, I had a little vial of mercury at one point, and trust me, it's so goddamn heavy, that stuff.
But I mean, when these things are discovered, we don't know the full story. The environment, everything down to the slang of the day, even. The language we probably understand that they were using, but there might have been a dialect or a slang that carried out, the hieroglyphics. We might know a little bit about the hieroglyphics, but we don't know that maybe there's some sort of dialect or slang that is, preventing us from fully understanding it.
Well, so the other thing is you've got to think about is within history. Imagine if the Vikings, right, never met the Arabs.
Well, yeah.
Imagine what would have happened, because the Vikings wouldn't have had that steel that the Arabs had. But they made this force out of certain different metals. They learned that from the Arabs.
I mean, and again,
the top routes and the trade routes, they go back far, far, far.
Oh, absolutely.
Far more than what we're being fucking.
Well, you look at there's evidence of Egyptians and Mayans trading.
I just had a funny thought.
And people will go, how the hell were they able to even connect?
Do you think aliens have been going around putting certain technologies in certain different parts of the world and then playing it like a game? I wonder how long it'll take for that technology.
I wholeheartedly believe that we underestimate our sort of knowledge of how things were back then.
Tried, tested.
I really do. I mean, I really do believe. I mean, you look at off the coast of California, there is evidence of Chinese shipwrecks.
Yeah.
That would predate Columbus's discovery of the New World, if you will. So if that's the case, who truly discovered the New World? It certainly was. It wasn't them. It was, when you look at the natives and how they migrated here. If anything was, any discovery was made, it was made by them thousands of years before Columbus.
Oh yeah, big time, yeah. Oh, they've just found a big tomb in the, as you were saying about the Grand Canyon having hieroglyphs in it.
Yeah.
Tim.
Yeah.
Like literally this past couple of weeks, they've actually opened up a tomb there, don't you?
Well, have they taken photos of it?
They found a tomb. They found a tomb in the Grand Canyon not so long ago. Literally.
One of those Egyptian ones you're talking about.
Don't know. I haven't really delved into it at the minute, but they found a massive tomb.
I know that there are areas.
They're probably still doing the research on it.
Egyptian gods. why the fuck would you want to name something after an Egyptian god in a canyon that is, renowned for well, let's just say it like this, for the days of cowboys and Indians, and the Indians used to inhabit the area and all the rest of it. You know what I mean? What the fuck's what the fuck is there a tomb that and it was documented back in the past, but and all the rest of it. Somebody found cave system there that had a small village, basically that was built into the rock,
Mm-hmm.
and they were hieroglyphs, Egyptian ones, and mummies.
Where was that? Where was that?
I'm just gonna be straight. Like, I don't know whether that is true, but it was in American newspapers once upon a time, going back. You're talking like when was that sad when they found her? Originally, with the guy who found it, and he was just like some explorer doing the thing, and it was probably in the 1950s, 1940s, or something like that.
Don't know, but I've just done the research on that, and a giant underground city found by archaeologists. Say it properly, Sam. Under the Grand Canyon, which was found in November the 17th, 2022. So literally, just like I said, not so long ago. It's literally
that explains why that was probably not found in 2022. It was probably found a little while behind.
Probably before that, and they're
they've gone in there, they've done this stuff, because I know for a fact that people that go to the Grand Canyon, there are areas where you cannot go, and you are not allowed to go, and those rules have only been drawn up in the past 10 years.
Is there like special forces?
Then it's not special forces. What they do is they frighten people off with helicopters and planes.
Oh God, yeah, man, yeah, that's
imagine going to the Grand Canyon and going to one of these areas. Like I said, they named these places after Egyptian deities and things. Temple of Osiris, and
that's why they tell you to take the guided tours.
And then you go there thinking, I'm gonna have a look at this now.
Well, the other thing about the Grand Canyon,
an Apache gunship shows up in the Grand Canyon, and you're filming it, and you're just like, "Whoa, time to go."
Tim, are we talking about the Philadelphia experiment now?
Well, but no, there is this stuff there that obviously it's been kept very quiet, and it has been for a long time. But they've known about all of that for a very long time. Smithsonian knew about it.
Yeah,
and they've
there's another fucking institution.
But if you ring them up and you go, "Oh, can you tell me anything about the giants that you found, or the mummies that you found in the Grand Canyon and the Egyptian hieroglyphs?" They turn around and they go, "Oh, we don't know anything about that." No. And it's like, "Oh, you must be crazy. You must be watching YouTube." Yeah. Put the phone down on you,
That's why Punches needs to come up. Dan, you need to come up.
Dan knows.
I know. He's got some good info there.
Worldly knowledge.
Yeah, got some good info there.
Mm.
Good info. It's
Get up here.
Yeah, we're gonna go for a little while longer, of course.
So I think this is an interesting subject. This one.
Absolutely, man.
It just shows that it's like, well, when I said about Australia and the Egyptian hieroglyphs in Australia on those certain rocks that are in the outback.
Yeah.
And then you got the stuff that's in South America as well.
Mm-hmm.
There are Egyptian hieroglyphs and this, that, and the other being found in South America on walls. In the jungle.
Mm-hmm.
And in Peru.
Yeah.
They don't like talking about any of it.
No.
Funny that, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Why would they do that?
Maybe the Egyptians were pretty good seafaring wise.
Well, that's the thing, right? That's the thing.
I mean?
And you have to sort of gauge that sort of that connection between, say, the Mayans and the Egyptians. How the possibility of the trade and It wasn't a possibility. There was actual evidence.
Yeah, it was trade.
So how did did the Egyptians stumble upon? Because I mean, as far as I know,
perhaps it wasn't the Egyptians. Perhaps the Mayans decided one day, "Oh, we're going to go and float over the ocean."
I don't know, though. I don't think the Mayans were seafaring.
No, I'm not thinking about it.
Maybe rivers and stuff like that, but I don't think they were ever seafaring at all. So, if anything, maybe the Egyptians. I don't know.
Hollowed out canoes, maybe, and that'll be about it for the Mayans, I think.
Yeah, but how did it make
rivers? That's all. I don't think.
Hey, Liam, how are you?
I don't think that that's. But the thing is it's like I said, who's to know?
Well, that's the thing.
How all these civilizations mix, because they did, and that's blatantly obvious.
Yeah, there's evidence. There's evidence of it. And you sit there.
That's what I mean. The Mayans followed bird gods. The Egyptians followed bird gods. The Chinese even did it once upon a time.
Well, if you want to get down to it too, you look at even cave art.
Mm.
There was cave art all over the earth, and it just stopped. I think they said 10,000 years. It just stopped. Why? Why did it stop? Why did cave art stop? And why was the cave art all over, found all over?
Perhaps that was the time where, all over. But
started building houses.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't think I could put. I'm not sure whether my understanding of it would work.
They jumped out of becoming hunter gatherers and they became civilized. Is that what you're saying, Sam?
Yeah, they were given a boost.
No, I just mean one guy came along one day and said, "Why are you all living in that cave there? Look, I've been making huts. I have. Then jump on my bandwagon. We'll all make huts."
So then why is there no art in these huts?
The huts have gone.
yeah,
rotted away.
The huts are gone. Yeah. They've been blown away.
And I'll huff and I'll puff.
Yeah, exactly.
There's that guy. He was on a coast. Is it Turkey? On the coast of Turkey, and he was knocking through a wall.
Knocking through a wall.
And he found
he found
the entire city.
Yes. Are you talking about Tepe?
Not Tepe. No, this is a different place. I think it's Turkey or somewhere along them lines. But it was like a fortified city underneath the ground, or caves.
It is. It's an underground city in Turkey.
Oh yeah.
Man, and it wasn't knocking through a wall. He was building an extra conservatory on the extension of his house. And as they were doing the foundations, he found a hole in the floor.
Yeah.
Went into the cave, into the floor, the hole, and then found this mass underground tunnel system and all the rest of it. They went into there. There was rooms all connecting. It's all ducted off.
Fortified as well, wasn't it?
Ventilation shafts and everything. It's got airways and everything that help it.
As if it was built to keep something very, very nasty out.
It's got doors that are actually made of stone and they're circular, so you can roll them.
When they roll them over,
roll the doors into place, and it seals off certain areas you can't get into, you can't get out of. And it houses up to about 20,000 people as well. So that's how
20,000 people.
Yeah,
think about 20,000 people. Why would 20,000 people need to live under the ground?
So basically, a whole city had to move underground for some reason.
There's many speculate. You could speculate why. You know what I mean? You could say
maybe they had end times and end times revelation.
Yeah.
Maybe they had astrologers say there's a comet coming. Yeah, I don't know. There could be anything.
Maybe they got hit by loads of earthquakes and all the rest of it.
Well, that too. I mean, that too. Ragnarok. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, maybe they just had loads of things happening at once. Maybe it was maybe they saw a meteorite or whatever. Maybe they thought that, you know what I mean. And maybe it kicked off some religious
Maybe they
thing
saw
where
a
they thought the
comet.
gods were, some nasty gods were going to come back and try and kill them all or whatever. You
I mean,
don't know.
look at the panic that a comet causes.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? It's still to this day and age, and everybody, people who, you know, obviously,
The skies are falling
that
down.
we're
Yeah.
ever going to get hit by another. Well, we may have been hit once upon a time in the past by a big, huge meteor or whatever. But whether we're going to get hit by a comet is a whole different matter. You know what I mean? It's a very large
Mr. Ragnarok.
Ragnarok. All right.
How you doing, Dan?
I was listening to the conversation for a while before I said anything in the chat, but yeah, I was interesting. That's what I'm saying.
It is interesting. I love getting into this kind of shit. I love it. It's all
the whole Antarctica thing is pretty amazing to me. Like,
yeah,
I don't believe that the pyramid thing is a pyramid, but it's definitely like possible that there was a civilization there at some point, and that there's remains of the civilization under the ice.
Yeah, said about that.
You know? We just don't know. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. I find it. Well, I kept saying it would be so cool that eventually, within time, that they do find some sort of evidence that there was some sort of human activity or some sort of activity there.
How dare you? How dare you melt the Antarctic to find the Anunnaki?
That's my continent. How dare you?
How dare you?
The Antarctica, if Antarctica bloody melts, we're all buggered, I'm telling you.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we are.
Well, it wasn't always frozen.
No.
Yeah, true.
So, I mean, people lived somewhere when it was melted. I mean, people lived somewhere.
And England didn't always have a landmass. It was underwater at one point.
That's why you guys have such a nice navy.
It's a necessity, right?
Yeah. You sea-bearing civilization over there.
Like Tim says there, think it now.
Conquer.
It's like the only reason France has a navy is because England had a navy.
Yeah, exactly.
You haven't got a country anymore. We've come here and invaded you. Look at this with our shit. Tally ho.
You don't need to invade now. You have a tunnel.
Think now things would have been so different if we didn't have the English Channel and the North Sea separating us. If we hadn't have actually broken up, and then do you get me? Like, because when you look at the North Sea from England over to Holland, let's say, it's actually very shallow, really.
Yeah,
it's not.
It used to be a land bridge.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't always underwater.
We found
exactly. This is what I'm saying. It was all connected.
The villages out in that channel, haven't they? So there you go.
So that begs the question: if we were all connected as one continent at one point, does that not mean to say that global warming has already been happening for thousands of years and this process? We're already in the process. You know what I mean?
At the end of the day, and produce even more heat and radiation. So you got to think about it like that as well.
We don't. I don't think.
Look at a map.
Yeah.
See the world.
I'll ask Greta. Greta knows.
We should get a map up here of human travel over the past 5,000 years. Actually, no, say 11,000 years. Human travel. Somebody should make a map and see what it would look like with human travel over the past 11,000 years.
Well, like migration and stuff.
Well, yeah, migration, just travel. Like how interesting it would look. Like obviously, from beginning to present.
Yeah, you've seen it now.
Yeah.
Flight radar 24.
Just give a good example.
Oh my god!
I mean, there was a discovery. Where was it? Of a human girl. That where was it now? Where was she found? She was found in a cave in an area surrounded by jungle. and they just came by chance by this cave and excavated it to see if they could find some sort of evidence of human activity. Of course, they found this female body in a fetal position, and they were able to extract DNA.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
She was wrapped up in some sort of cocoon thing.
And she had animal bones around her, and they were fascinated because she had her DNA had what was from Australian Aboriginal, but what they were really freaked out by is it had I think there was some other DNA there that they couldn't understand why, because of the migration, that they thought, okay, wait a sec here. That type of migration didn't happen from what they're understanding for 4,000 years ago. Here is this body that's possibly 7,000 years. Now they're saying, okay, 3,000 years ago, okay, did the migration actually happen 3,000 years earlier than what they anticipated?
Yeah.
And this is constantly going on and on and on.
I think that's the thing. It's about
we've been a species for millions of years.
We haven't really got a concept of being able to date things properly.
No, absolutely.
And that's a fact. That's a fact. Carbon dating does not fucking secure things in stone.
No. It gives you a glimpse, and that's about it. I mean, obviously, DNA is a lot better.
It can roughly predict. Roughly. Yeah. When I say roughly, I mean rough.
Yeah.
Roughly.
Well, there's videos on YouTube of how radiocarbon dating is flawed. It's fundamentally flawed, and everything that's based on radiocarbon dating is basically wrong because of this fundamental flaw that they have in the radiocarbon dating method.
Yeah.
And they say it's science, it's science, and it will never change, right? But it's like, dude, science is constantly changing.
Changing.
You have to accept that it changes.
It's constant.
Otherwise, you're just going to be doing yourself a disservice.
Yeah, it's a constant change.
Everything is based on theory.
Well,
science
it's our interpretation of something that really we're just beings, and we're interpreting what we see. It's like what you said earlier. We're interpreting what we see around us, the senses, and this, that, and the other, and visual.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. We do experiments, and we come up with these hypotheses.
Science is just another word.
It all. Is our interpretation the real interpretation? Probably not.
Exactly. This is what I'm saying.
Yeah. I mean, if we were able to see all spectrums of light with our eyeballs, then our conclusions to our observations would be completely different, wouldn't they?
No, because then the aliens would be visible. We'd be able to see the aliens then.
I mean, be able to see how we see now, and in infrared as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or any of the other colors and things that the human eye doesn't pick up on.
I mean, we make devices that interpret data and into a form of data that we can absorb with our senses, right? That's what we do. We create sensors that change the data into something else so that we can observe it and interpret it, right? But that doesn't mean that what those machines or those sensors are interpreting is actually correct, right? It's because there's no guaranteeing, there's no connection through there. It's we are programming it to tell us something, right?
Ollie, point me in the right direction, because I'd love to look at that.
You know what I mean? And it can visually identify. You know what I mean? A robot can do that, but the thing is a robot is not sentient. We think that we have this idea in our heads that we are a sentient being and this, that, and the other, but then we program robots as well. You know what I mean? And you can program a robot with a decent bit of AI and go, well, this color is blue, this color is red, this color is yellow, and then a month later you do a test What color is this? Oh, it's yellow. Yeah, that's right. What color is this? Blue. Yeah, this is right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a weird old thing.
Do the old switcheroo, and then they
You
start
can take a color chip of paint. You can take a color chip of paint into the hardware store and put it under a scanner, and it'll tell you exactly what color it is. Because it'll be like, oh, there's this many pigments per square inch of yellow and this many pigments of square inch of green. You know, like this is the exact color you're looking at. It doesn't come up to a color; it comes up to a number.
There's a car spraying place not far from where I live, and they got all that in there. You know what I mean? Literally, you just walk in, you just go, I want my car sprayed this color. And then just, you know, you could hand them a chunk of metal that you found on the street or whatever, you know what I mean? It's been sprayed. You haven't got, maybe it's like a purple, dark purple or whatever, some sort of purple. And the moment you put it in, it'll name it. Just scan it in and it names it, knows it straight away.
Right.
So, you know.
Strange.
If something as poxy as that machine is down there, it can do that. Just think about what it's going to be like in 40, 50 years. You know what I mean? With regards to technology and stuff, you know?
When you have the technology that you have now, just imagine 40, 50 years ago. In the future.
In the future, yeah.
In the future, yeah.
It's scary. It is scary, but at the end of the day, it's just fact is that how far do you want to go?
By the way, folks,
that's the thing for the human race. How far do you want to go?
By the way, folks, Tim is a deep fake.
I am. I'm not real. really, I'm Mark Hamill.
He's really Mark Hamill.
He's an AI interface.
Yeah. Just imagine, because it like seemingly now technology just seems to be. I don't know. Do you guys think a little bit stagnant now? And I have a feeling that things are just going to explode, technology-wise.
Oh well, that's what they. I mean, I remember in the year 2000, they were like, "It's the computer technology is exponential," you know, and this and that, and it's like, well, we haven't. I mean, if you think about it, we haven't really progressed that far since the year 2000.
No.
I mean, really haven't. I mean, we've made a lot of strides, and
how dare you?
I mean, but it's not as far as they claimed. Kind of like how they said, you know, well, in 20 years, global warming will fucking drown half the planet. You know, like it hasn't happened yet.
You fake arrested in Germany. How dare you?
How dare you? How dare you arrest me?
How dare you arrest me, even though it is fake?
Yeah. How dare you arrest me? Hee 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 hee. He's laughing.
That was in the Daily Express as well. Now that's one of the tabloids that we got here.
Well, that's one thing they do.
When it happened, you know what I mean?
They take all these pictures of Greta. Yeah, or she's getting arrested. She's getting arrested. Make sure you get as many photographs of them holding her arm out and shit, you know, and carrying her through the mud. But then it's like they put her in a car for like 20 minutes and then let her go again. And all these articles are like, oh, she was arrested. She was arrested. No, she wasn't. She was momentarily detained.
Carried her across the mud. We're taking photographs and going like this in front of her.
Yeah, they were like, hey, get a picture of me next to the child star, you know? Yeah.
But you see what a big fucking distraction all this Davos shit is, and it's all that's got a lot to do.
Oh yeah.
I think all this is all fucking connected. To be honest with you,
it's a distraction for sure.
Distraction.
I mean, if Greta cared so much about the environment, why isn't she not in China right now?
Oh yeah.
Why the fuck is she in? Why is she in Germany? Why is she not in China? The main contributor of all fucking, you know, pollution in the atmosphere, and they don't give a shit, you know. And it's like, if you want to fucking try to wake people up to the climate change and the pollution and shit, go to China. But it's because she's going for the low hanging fruit, you know. She doesn't want to
exactly.
She wants media.
VH for everyone, I say.
Yeah.
VH for everyone, I say.
She goes anywhere where they pay her to go.
Well, that's it. That's it.
Stick your
Yeah.
Tesla crap up your ass.
If she ain't getting paid well, she wouldn't be getting so chubby.
Yeah.
I remember seeing video footage of her test because she got a Tesla.
Well, yeah, she got a Tesla. Yeah,
And you know what? Right when she parked, she was at some place in, I think it was in Switzerland or something. She went to some conference in Switzerland. She parked it up outside the press, the free press I'm talking about now. where I all found out where the car park was, where she parked the car, went up to it and looked in it. Holy fucking shit. So much crap in there, it's unbelievable. Like.
But even a fucking
trash,
Tesla, when you look at the energy that's put into fucking building that fucking car.
Well, yeah, look at where all that stuff that comes from, where the batteries.
I mean, the tires she rolls on are made from oil.
Yeah, made from oil.
Look how they're mined.
Yeah.
They ain't mined by machine, they're mined by human beings.
Everything in those cars are made out of, hydrocarbons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're all made from fossil fuel derivatives.
Exactly.
That stuff wouldn't exist if the things that she is against stopped. Right.
Again, this is political fucking a segment that we see
con.
money.
That's just a con. The thing is that's just a con. That's just something that they come up in the boardroom with a Tesla. You know what I mean? It's just we'll sell it as 100% environmental car. Yeah, everybody knows that there are power stations out there that power the fucking factories that make the cars in the first place. And it's still everything that's made in that factory still has a pollutant. It's still something that pollutes. You know what I mean?
I mean, they get a large amount of lithium for those batteries from child labor.
Yeah.
Well, look at even the cobalt. I mean, cobalt mining. There was a big fucking company that was saying that our cobalt is mined by machines now. A TV reporter snuck into one of the cobalt mines, and there's labor.
There was little black kids.
Yeah. They were fucking by hand.
Yeah.
By hand.
Piece by pieces at a time and shit. And they're dying at like fucking 10 years old.
Exactly. And the company's going, oh, we'll have to put this under review. Yeah, okay, whatever. You knew about it.
Well, it's the same with the Apple stuff that comes out of China and things like that.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Where you got fucking suicide fucking nets on the sides of Foxconn.
I guess I'm guilty.
Yeah.
Well, we all are really.
We all are. But
whether it be an Android phone.
But I don't push this. I don't push this bullshit. Oh, I'm gonna have to fucking go buy an electric car bullshit. Like seriously, come on.
No, World Economic Forum says you are not allowed. You are you have no right to own your own car anymore.
Yeah.
You have to walk or share somebody else's car that's allowed to have a car.
I would agree. I would agree with something like a hybrid. I would agree with that. I don't. That seems to be the best of two worlds, sort of. But when you're forcing people into it,
like a Ferrari,
whatever. But
that's the only hybrid.
When you're fucking forcing people into a fucking segment that you know bloody well is a new money segment. That's all it is. It's all about money. We can fucking prop this up. And look at here. I mean, they're going fucking nuts with building these factories to build the batteries, to build these fucking electric vehicles. It's fucking ridiculous. It is.
Yeah.
And now these oil companies have to we have to show you that we're environmentally safe.
Yeah.
We're responsible here. We're not leaving any carbon footprint here.
Greta reminds me of Jabba the Hutt.
Jabba the Hutt.
That's what's been spoken about. It's like, one to the environment.
That's hilarious.
Fucking hell. It was shocking seeing that. I was just like, well, that video footage in Germany at the mine was just like, what the fuck? And he was like, okay, we know what side you're on. It ain't the environmentalists.
Think about this. If they made a car that ran off of your tap water, like you could just pour your hose into your gas tank, right?
Yeah.
What they would do is they would completely, like, let's say you could make your own fuel from water, that easy. They would put so many regulations in place to keep common people from being able to do that it would be almost unfeasible. They want to make as much money as possible off of you. So they'd make all these, you'd have to be paying, I need to pay to have a license to split hydrogen and oxygen, and you need a license to own this container, and you need a license, and they just pull all this money out of you in order to do something that's supposed to be saving you money.
It's the same with cures and stuff. Just they got cures out there for certain cancers and all. It's sat on the fucking shelf.
Yeah. Well, the cure is.
But it's sat on the shelf, and it is a reality. There are things out there that can save people. But it's like, I can get what you're saying. It's just.
There was a fruit that ancient people had that doesn't exist anymore. It was picked into extinction, like all the seeds, and they didn't plant the seeds. It was so long ago that they didn't really have farming yet.
What was this?
It was some sort of fruit. Yeah, it was some sort of fruit that like was like a cure-all. It would like cure cancer and shit.
Well, I know, and what is it? A combination of apricot pits and B12 are known.
I don't know about apricot. Don't they have arsenic in them or cyanide?
What they'll sell you, what they'll tell you, but apparently when taken in doses, it's actually not. It's not toxic.
Interesting. I always thought that was like cumulative type of toxin, like that builds up.
But who knows?
Let's build up.
It's like witch hazel. It's like witch hazel. Same thing. They'll tell you that witch hazel is toxic to the human body, but it actually does you wonders.
I mean, if you put it on your face, it'll like clear up your, if you have like any type of skin problems. Yeah.
Witch hazel, white bark. White bark. If anybody knows anything about white bark, it's actually aspirin.
Oh, right. The willow bark. Yeah.
Willow bark, right? So, I mean, things that are lost to us because they've never really been part of our lives. When you do the research, you do understand where they get a lot of these derivatives from.
Yeah.
And you get it in all natural instead of synthetic sort of version. But guys, I'm gonna have to close this off. But
get up on out of here.
This has been fun, man. I love doing these Thursday afternoons. Thanks, Dan.
Interesting conversation.
It was fun.
Do it again.
Thanks for inviting me up.
Yeah, thanks, Dan. Thanks, Tim and Sab. I know you're listening, Sab.
You guys. I'll see you guys.
I'm here.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to do another stream anyway. So.
All right. Well, if I have time, I'll jump in there, Tim.
If I'm not playing Valheim, I've been playing a lot of Valheim.
No,
All right, guys.
Gary's mod before now is Valheim.
Thanks everybody for tuning in, and take care, everyone.
All right,
have a good
see
one.
Everyone.
Later.
Hello.
Whee!
Woohoo!